Welcome in to the Vitality Handbook. My name is Yao A. Owusu Jr., your resident Vitality consultant. To my right, I have Andre Bivens Jr., and to my left, Nicholas Lopez Jr. Again, we are the Vitality Handbook. Welcome to Season 3. Without further ado, fellas, we're going to go in. Talking about that fourth pillar, physical recovery. Let's have a conversation. Why don't we just work and not worry about recovery? Like, what's up with recovery? Is it something we need? Can I have arms like you, or can I have quads and calves like you without recovering? Is it possible?
Nah. It's not possible.
You got to rest for the growth?
Yeah, you got to rest.
Well, I mean, what's up with that? So that's what I want to know about. So for all the people, the zeitgeist, Nick's favorite word out there, the general population, when they see this, when they see specimens, and when they see, obviously, we got a little, it's like, oh, it's just genetics, so it just comes natural to you. But you actually have to work for it, right? And I'm sure part of that work is you got to rest. Me, I plug in a program for rest. If I don't program to rest, then I just work, go home and work, take care of a kid, come back, work, get a meeting, work. I have to kind of plan my recovery or else it's not going to happen. And then workouts fade, injury rears its head, and then pop goes the weasel goes pop. Something happens. Injury happens.
Yeah, I mean, I frame the importance around recovery around how basically the reason athletes take drugs is for recovery.
Yep.
It's not for, you know what I'm saying? So like just as far as, putting that frame around for the audience, people hear about people who use like performance enhancement drugs.
PEDs, PEDs.
Yeah,
the reason they use that for the most part, now I don't know about the ones that like Lance was using as far as like.
Oh, that's still for recovery.
Yeah, that's recovery.
Blood doping is recovery.
Yeah, recovery. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I think most of
telling you that's what it is.
Yeah.
Most of it centers around speeding up the recovery process. So that just goes to show if people are willing to cheat and put their whole titles on the line for recovery.
But is it cheating? So what Lance did?
Sorry.
They took blood
It's
from when
cheating relative to the organization.
So blood doping is they take blood from when you're at your highest level, when you have the highest amount of mitochondria, that's your energy in your cell, when your blood levels are high, your plasma levels are high, right? So they take that when you're at your peak of training. They take that, and then now when you've gone through training, you feel low, and everybody's at the end of their season, they're getting ready to start, then they put the blood back in. So it's his fresh blood, basically. It's a longer, more scientific process, but that's what blood doping is. And he was getting it from himself. So it's like new, fresh blood. That's not allowed in his sport, but is that cheating? That's yours.
Well,
so that's like, it's all, even when people take PEDs, steroids, growth hormone, stuff like that, that helps speed up recovery. So you can go work out again and again and again. That's why they get these massive quantum leaps in size and stuff like that, is because you shouldn't be able to do arms every single day. But they can do it because they can recover.
For real.
You shouldn't be able to do deadlifts every day, but they can do it because they can recover from that. But then their tendons get weak, their muscles get strong, but their tissue that's connected gets weak, and that's when you have chest tears.
They're growing too fast.
Yes, it's growing too fast for them
body
to actually heal properly. So then you have to say, are they really healing? They're masking the pain so they can do it over again, but are they really healing? Are the tendons really healing? And you can see by check the receipts. Who pops their bicep, who pops their chest, who pops all these stuff. If those things again pop,
no recovery.
You're not really recovering.
Yeah, so before we go into the route of saying, you can't knock the hustle, what else would they do? Maybe that's their only way they can make a living. They're gonna have to do that. That's part of the contract. That's a whole different maybe mindset episode.
Yeah, for sure.
But on this part, it's like we're just amplifying or centering around the message that look how far people are willing to go for recovery.
For sure.
So why aren't you, and you're not even competing at that level, right? So it's not like you have to go that hard for recovery because they're doing that plus the standard recovery practices. We're saying that if you do the standard recovery practices, then you'll get to where you got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and Jay, I'm gonna direct this to you. I think, what is it worth to you to get to your goal? Right? If you look at some of the athletes like Lebron James, everybody spends $2 million on his body to recovery. Tom Brady, okay, there must be something to it. These guys are staying in the game for a long time. Mayweather, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink. You can say what do you want or how you feel about him. This man is always in shape.
Facts.
The discipline.
So you're in shape because you're recovering. Usain Bolt has S-curve scoliosis. I know that because I have that. That for him to be dominant for 10 years, that means he has a massage therapist, he has someone that's feeding him, he has someone that's stretching him, he has all this team. Now, do you have a team? Do you have people that'll help you along your journey to recover? I mean, if you follow us, you have some team, right? Mm-hmm. You could come down here to Manhattan and have some team, but if you don't, you need to make sure you get with a professional to help you and listen to your coach. Like Dre would always say, he's probably gonna say this, so I'm gonna let him get to it. Listen to your coach. If he says, don't ride the bike because you're gonna be tight and you come in, you try and deadlift, something's gonna hurt, then you ride that bike, you come in and something tears. You gotta have some accountability. So
tear before they even step in the gym. Now they set back. They didn't tear it in here, they tore it outside. And now that's it. Your summertime goal is, unless you're gonna eat right for your body type. Nah, ooh, that was hard. Go ahead.
I mean, that's another pillar, right? So all the 5 pillars, they're interdependent. So you could eat more than your recovery to kind of mask that. Mm-hmm. You could sleep a lot better to help speed up your recovery. You could have a great mindset. So obviously, but my thing is that your mindset wasn't strong enough to overcome. Hold on,
what you say again? You tried what? What you say you tried?
So he said that he tried not to sleep, right?
No.
So then his recovery.
No, I was trying to say, like, that's facts.
Yeah.
What you're saying is facts. Pillars are interdependent, sorry. But at some point,
you're going to break.
No, there's a line where it's like, all right, you can't just eat your way to proper recovery.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's that balance. Yeah. Like, Dre knows.
Like, people will be like, I just finished a workout. Sorry to interrupt. People I just finished a workout. I'm going to go have, like, some ginger tea.
No.
Hold on, man. Remember, we have to help them organize information.
Yeah.
So go ahead and
organize.
All right, organize information. I'm going to let Dre go and then... My bad. Yeah, I just felt like I had to like.
That was good.
That was perfect. I have an example. So I have an example. Maybe this will bleed into what Dre wants to say. So we all eat relatively healthy. We might have some times where we might not eat enough carbohydrates, or we might have a little bit more fat. I love fries and burgers. I'll do that if I'm trying to put on some weight. But for the most part, I'm not eating fries and burgers. Right? You might see me do that once every 2 weeks. Right? When I came back from Ghana, I was a little slim, so I did that 2 times a week to get what I needed. But I'm resting, I'm stretching, I'm doing all those other things so I can afford that. Yep. So I'm not saying that you can disregard one pillar altogether. You can't have any pillars be egregious. You can't eat fried pancakes and hamburgers and think you're just gonna stretch it and you're gonna have these arms or those quads. It's not gonna happen.
Now, the recovery, you're eating fried. What is that? What does that cause?
Inflammation.
Boom, there you go.
Boom, there you go.
It's not scripted, guys. This is just science. It's not scripted. This is science. That's really what we're fighting. When we're talking about physical recovery.
But technically, so let's expand on that, because technically, ginger helps reduce inflammation.
Yes, but not after a workout. You need food. You need carbohydrates.
But technically, it's still, so what's that? How do you organize information? Because technically, on the media, it says turmeric, ginger, antioxidants.
I mean, if you're
before bed.
If you're a rabbit, yeah, but if you're a rabbit though, if you 6'3" with this frame over here, you can't just go without carbohydrates.
So
if you're a small itty bitty rabbit, then you could probably have a little ginger with your grass and all that type of stuff. But if you're trying to get that work, you're trying to be big or get gains, you can't just have ginger and turmeric.
Or even if you're skinny, whatever you say, rabbit or whoever, you don't really want to be skinny. What you're saying is that you want to be lean, right? You want to, tone means muscle, right? That's what you want to be. Right, but go ahead.
Yeah. I mean that's facts.
We'll help unpack it. Let's make this like the coaching tool for the day.
Okay, perfect.
What is it about understanding when you're matching the right dose of recovery with the type of breakdown that you created, the type of training you did? So for someone who's like, all right, I just finished deadlifting, I'm doing this 5x5 because everybody starts with 5x5, and I'm above, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
That means a lot of volume for all those people in general that don't know what 5x5
training
program is.
Doing strength training for like an hour, just lifting weights for 60 minutes. All right, so this person, okay, I know I have some information on exercise. Now the information I have for recovery is going to be now about, okay, I know I have to help manage inflammation, so let me have this ginger tea and I'll be good for the day. So what is that? Is that a mismatch? That's a mismatch of basically dosage of recovery to training.
I mean, I think it's pretty simple. The receipts will tell you. How do you feel? Do you feel terrible? Do you feel rested? Do you feel like you can go the next day? If you can't, you didn't recover properly.
Beautiful.
If you can, you recover properly. Let's just break it down. Don't take all the science away. We can make it all
perfect.
smarty pants stuff.
Yeah.
Receipts. If someone's like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm hurt. You're not recovering. You're not supposed to be tired and supposed to be hurt. So if you burn in that midnight oil, but you're recovering enough, you're doing something within your pillar system to make sure you still feel good and recover. So then you found that balance. Like you can go 2 days of not sleeping until 1 a.m., but if your nutrition's on point, if your supplements are on point, if your stretching's on point and your training's on point, you can kind of mask that you're not getting that much sleep because you're doing everything else perfect. But you have to be honest with yourself. Are you doing everything else perfect and you're not getting sleep? Are you doing everything else perfect and you're not stretching and recovering? Are you doing everything perfect and you're not eating? You have to find a balance within those 5 pillars is what we talk about. That's why we say the 5 pillars. You might be bad in one, but you have to do so much better than the others to make up for that. So we're talking about physical recovery. If you're not stretching, if you're not rolling, you're not massaging, you're not taking a nap, you're not meditating, you're not doing anything to help your physical recovery, then you're at baseline. No matter what you eat or how you sleep, your body's not going to feel good because you're not doing anything. So I would say for me to unpack it, you have to have some type of recovery routine, period. You can't just have nothing and think that you can eat your way into recovery.
I'm saying, I see. So
you can't have nothing and think I'm gonna just sleep and I'm gonna feel better. No, you're still tight.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, flexibility. You gotta stretch.
You went to sleep. This is why we put sleep and recovery different. Sleep is a different type of recovery. Mental recovery, how your brain stores memory, get into REM sleep, your subconscious becomes conscious, then you wake up. But if you don't stretch, you're still gonna be tight.
Yep.
So what were you gonna say?
What were you gonna say on the flexibility part?
Oh no, I was gonna say, like you said,
Yeah.
you're sleeping, but you know, I mean, most of the time when we get up out of bed, especially when you're training, you get out of bed, what's the first thing you feel? Ugh, it's tight. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I need to stretch more. I need to add that in. Yeah.
So that would be in that for that person. Let's say that person's goal, who was doing the 5x5, was to add muscle. What would they get more benefit out of?
As far as what? As far as
Is it addressing? Let's say they only had one choice to make.
Got you.
For recovery, for whatever reason. Okay, they can't make 2 choices.
So what would be the best form of recovery?
Ginger tea or stretching?
From lifting?
From lifting.
From lifting a program,
Yeah.
ginger tea or stretching? Stretching. Ginger tea? Kick that here.
Yeah, for sure.
Ginger tea.
I agree.
You're going to trigger a lot of people.
Stretching.
Hey, well, I mean,
It's a fact.
You're going to trigger a lot of people.
Sometimes you have to be aware of that triggering to get out of whatever you're doing.
Listen, I want to trigger you on that.
Yeah.
So
let's go. You know I want to trigger.
So I thought about this, and this is maybe a closing space, but what I realize is, the way we talk is almost like we've invested a lot into our health and vitality.
For sure.
So we have that long-term thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We can know how to program. We know how to all these things add up, et cetera, et cetera.
Like Drake said.
delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification. I mean, yeah, that's a fact.
Delayed, yeah.
That's a mindset
Versus
element.
instant, yeah.
That's a mindset element.
Yeah.
But also from just from a general, okay, we put in the work to. It's like survival mode. Like we can think long term. So let's just say another reason, a potential reason most people get caught into the sensationalism is the same reason why people who are in survival mode only can think about the next thing. They can't be thinking about
The future.
the future. So how do we center that the importance of physical recovery for people who are like basically just being introduced to the wellness space or the high performance space, or I want to be my best self, but because they're inexperienced, they haven't put in the years of the time like we have. They're only thinking, they only have the skills to think about the next action or even the next day. How would you frame physical recovery for someone who can only really think about the next, literally what I'm going to do tonight or what I'm going to do the next day? Like they can't think beyond too far in the future.
That's how they have to start, if you ask me.
Yeah.
They've never experienced having a New York State record for deadlifting. They don't know the process, the recovery, the nutrition. So if in their mind they've never experienced it, they cannot fathom it. They can't perceive it. So that person, I would say, take it step by step. Feel better than you were yesterday. Do better than you were yesterday until you do 6 weeks of that. Then you can be like, 6 weeks from now, I've already known how much better. So now I can think 6 weeks in the future. Now do that for a year. Now you can critically think a year in advance with doing recovery, how it would feel. It's experience. The reason why you can be like, man, I know if I eat turmeric and I do this and do this stretch, it works because you experienced that.
Yep.
If they've never experienced that.
Experience it with the highest level of training.
For sure.
So I know what it does to me if I'm off of it
Yes.
and if I'm on it.
Listen to your coach.
Even timing the meals
Listen to
and
your
all
coach.
that stuff like that.
Listen to your coach.
I want to say, let's speak about recovery in the sense of trying to get people to understand that, yes, it's important to recover outside, but I'm not going to say more, but I'm going to just say more. It's more important to recover when you're inside here, when you take your minute break. What are you doing? Are you doing power strength training with heavy weight? You're not going to don't just rest a minute. You got to rest 2 minutes and up.
So you're talking about rest period, not just rest, but rest periods within your actual
Exactly.
training.
And if you're doing power strength training, right? You're doing power strength training, and you training like as if you're doing a performance style training or bodybuilding where you could rest 1 minute, 30 seconds and mess with it. Now that's where you get injured at. You get injured in that easy.
So we're talking about
that's like moment. That's like in the moment.
Yeah, that's in the moment. Yeah.
So we're talking about macro rest, meso rest, and micro rest.
Yeah.
You have a rest period that you do in between. You have a rest that you do before and after the session, and then you have a rest routine that you do throughout the weeks and throughout the months.
And also too, this is like inside, right? Training, knowing how to transition from when you just put in, let's say, performance training, hard work or performance training, right? And you program it to where it's high intensity, less rest.
Right.
In between, now, if you go into your strength training, now you need to know that I need to take about up to 5 minutes to actually, 5 to 10 minutes to actually recover to get my best effort into the strength training. If you're programming that together. Now, you have some people that, they'll go straight into it. Even sometimes, you're feeling it. You're feeling good. And you're like, I'm feeling great.
Right.
And if you do it, right, but this is the experience, right? You do it and you experience resting that 3 to 5 minutes after doing the hard, whatever work it was, right, to recover, to go to your next movement.
Correct.
Then you can actually, I won't say try, but try and teach that to your clientele. Because a lot of clients don't understand that aspect of why the rest period, the recovery, transitioning is so important so you can actually recover to be stronger.
I like that. So let's lead into closing this out to give them some information they can chew on straight up, right? So what would be the best start when you have a client or when you guys are just out there doing it on your own? Is it better to start learning how to rest within the training session? Is it better to start learning how to make resting periods throughout the weeks in your one program? Or is it better to learn how to rest with different programs? This 6 weeks is strength, this 6 weeks is deload, this 6 weeks is power. So that's also rest. When I say rest, there's 3 different frameworks you can think about. How do I rest within all the programs they're going to do for the year?
Exactly. So
how do I rest within the weeks of a single program?
If you had to pick one?
And if you had to pick one for them, what will you focus on?
I will focus on the what you're training for that 12 weeks.
There we go.
You got to go with that one because hypertrophy.
If you guys think of something different, let me know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to go with this battle right now.
Word.
I don't know you want this smoke. If you want this smoke, come get some.
I was about to say because if
that to me is makes a huge difference.
If the advice is coming from a coach's perspective, then you're trying to equip them to be the best that they can be.
Yep.
So if you let them know what their plan is, then it's easier to teach the rest of the others once they understand that. Like it'll naturally come across. Like they're naturally going to understand, oh shit, now I'm going from strength to power.
For sure.
What's changing? And it makes it easier. Now they have a bigger picture. Okay, I don't mind making the adjustment. I have a stronger understanding. So coaches help understand.
Yep. It's
good coaches.
Yeah. Facts.
Because some coaches have never put themselves through a powerlifting program, through a strength program, through a speed program, through a boxing program.
Yeah,
they read the books, man.
If you've never experienced that,
because everyone is different.
There's nothing like life experiences. Period.
Everyone is different.
You can read a barbering book for 25 years and you read all the best barbering, but you never cut someone's hair. And you go cut that person's hair, it's going to be a problem. Or you could be someone that's never read any books, but you've cut professional hair for 50 years. who are you gonna go to?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to
be
the person
sharp.
that has that
Yeah,
experience. You're not touching me, and I got a bald head. You're not touching me, having all nicks and stuff.
Yeah.
Always experience. I don't care what it is.
Yep.
Challenge me.
It's
Challenge
true.
me.
Because they're gonna know, and it's gonna be so precise.
You have to go with feeling. When it comes to training and recovery, it's all about feeling first, so you know that you need to recover. And I think what Dre's saying is right. Have a coach know how to plan your whole year.
Well, that's
throughout the year. This is what he said.
Yeah.
4 weeks, this, then 6 weeks of this one. That tells me that you know how to recover that person for the year. If you only teach them recovering for that day, they can be good. But then you can do that program for 6 months. Overtraining, you're going to get injured. Or you can go from powerlifting to powerlifting to powerlifting all throughout the year. You're going to get injured. There needs to be a deload.
Yeah,
there has to be a
deload.
recovery throughout those stages. So that's what I believe. I agree with Dre. If I'm going to give you some advice, learn how to plan weeks in advance of what your training is going to be. That'll help you sustain yourself so you won't have a major injury. You won't have a major injury throughout that year. Nick, what do you think?
Like I said, that's from a coach's perspective, that's the best choice to make from the individual day to day. It's like people who can't think about the future right now, they don't have the support system to have a team and have a coach talking to them, then it's like,
get it. Get the information. Google it. Don't start training unless you know your plan. Don't go up to the gym and just say you're just going to lift. So I rebutted that. I don't care who you are. You got the internet, or go to a public library. If you can hear this, then you okay?
Yeah. I like what you said about coach to client wise, and I do that a lot where, I'll tell them, you know what, today you did a lot of power work, or you did a lot of hypertrophy work, or you did a lot of conditioning work. And I'll tell them, let's say power work, I'll tell them you're allowed to have a little bit more carbs. So please pick the right carbs, right? That's all you can do, but you tell them that. Like, you're allowed to, what do you think I should have today? And they'll say, I'm choosing between this or this after this type of workout. And I would say, well, I'm keeping it at a power, right? For power, they'll say pasta, or they'll say, the basic meal, whatever it is, sweet potato, rice, and chicken or fish or shrimp or whatever it is, right? I'll tell them go with the pasta. If they're doing real, and especially on leg day as well. When you're doing leg day, you can't eat like a baby. You can't eat like a baby.
And that will help the recovery. I love that. So having this conversation on recovery, guys, I hope you guys really listen in, rewind the tape several times, talking about a conversation on physical recovery. What type of recovery do we need? I think we're all in lock and step that you do have to have some recovery. Find out what works for you. If you're not aware, watch us. Like, share, subscribe, comment.
Facts. And what Yao says is true. If you can listen to this,
then you got Google. YouTube is Google, Gmail. All right? As always, guys, let's get into it.